Do you love to win or hate to lose?
Oh, I hate to lose, bro.
So I love to win. Losing's fine. It's a lesson. Whenever you hate to lose, do you find that that gives you drive to go better and everything is just a lull and disappointment because you hate to lose? How do we find gratitude in still making it to the stage or doing the thing and enjoying the journey if we're so disappointed about losing?
You don't need perfect lighting, perfect captions, any of this shit. Like most stuff that hits, the most stuff that goes viral or attracts leads is the stuff where you're filming, I'm training, I just look at the camera, I start talking because it's genuine and it's nothing special. Camera will be charging because he forgot to bring an extra battery, and I'll just be like, hey, I don't care if the camera's charging, take my phone, film this set, film me talking, make whatever out of it. All right, welcome back to episode number 3 of Business Brains Brawns. It is 3, right?
It is 3, yeah, man. We're missing one today, man. Taylor's got his big launch for his clinic, so obviously we're super excited for him on that, and was like, yo, go handle business, do what you do. That's what this podcast is about, is getting it done. So excited for him, man. It's going to be huge. Big leap.
Dude, it's a huge business leap for him. Mm-hmm. He's under a lot of stress. They just opened. So like the next probably 3 months are going to be the most stressful he's ever been, trying to like figure out the back end stuff even more. You know, how can they improve their service, their delivery to their patients? You can't say customer anymore. You have to say patient, you know?
Yeah.
So,
You're patient.
Yeah, it's wild. But he texted me after he texted the group chat, and he's like, dude, I hope you guys aren't upset. I'm like, bro, you're fucking winning, man. We're not upset.
No.
There's
going to be many times I'm not going to be able to make one. I promise you that.
Me too, bro. I forgot. I was supposed to upload a YouTube video on New Year's Day last week, and I forgot my computer on my counter. And I asked him to do it for me, and he was like, dude, no problem, you know? So, but anyway, man. So let's start off with an accountability check.
Yeah.
Last week we ended the podcast with, what we wanted to stay accountable on. Taylor can share his next week. Personally, for me, I'll say this. My accountability that I was supposed to hold myself to in this past week was uploading all my onboarding modules and my videos to my school group. And I had 7 of them I had to record. I uploaded 4 of them. And not because I failed to record the other 3, but because me and Kevin, my guy that does the back end stuff in my business, he had finished writing all the scripts for a lot of my landing page, like after the call is booked with me.
Yep.
I have
thank you page.
Yes. I have Q&A videos. So it's like talking about, hey, this is what you're going to have to do for, budgeting. This is what you're going to have to do. Do I do macros or just meal plans? I answer like in 1 to 3 minute videos of like, hey, questions that I'll answer before we even get on the call. Smart. So he's like, hey, put more time into this first. So don't worry about the other 3 onboarding, onboarding school videos. So then I had to kind of transfer my energy into where it's needed most. So I finished more than half, but I didn't finish it all. So I kind of failed, kind of didn't. But yeah, I'm just being transparent and honest.
Yeah, no, I love that. So I'm gonna tap on that. I love the fact that you're doing those, like the post booking call page, that thank you page is really, really, really important. I think a lot of people sleep on that. It's an opportunity for somebody to learn more about you, and the more content they can consume of you speaking, the more they're going to be excited and bought in to getting on that sales call with you. So those Q&As, whether you send somebody to a YouTube channel, watch this thank you video, like for us, for example, like I filmed it to where on that thank you page, it immediately goes, all right, so I'm going to tell you who we don't help. We don't work with people that are trying to start a business or that are in person trying to go online. Like I instantly want to say, hey, you're not a good fit but if that isn't you, this is what we're going to do. And then I have testimonials essentially below it. So good thank you page is really needed to help have better qualified people show up to that sales call. So
for sure.
Kudos to that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where we didn't even think about it last year when it came to my funnel and my landing page, but it definitely wasn't needed it probably was needed in the past 2 years. I'll say that for the growth that I have had. But I will say, if I was thinking like this in my first year or 2 of coaching, I'd be missing the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? Because back then I didn't even have a clear offer. It was just, hey, sign up with me. I'm a coach. I'll get you fucking shredded. I'll turn you pro. There was that was my offer.
Yeah. Which is also super normal, man. It's like, hey, dude, I'm good at what I do. If you want it, come get it.
Right. But when you want to scale, you got to kind of start to dig a little deeper and be like, okay, what does my consumer need? What do they want? Let's say I'm attracting all people that are like borderline about to turn pro, or I'm attracting pro bodybuilders and they want to win a pro show. They haven't had a legit off season, etc. Let's say I'm attracting them. Their goals are super big. They need to understand like, yo, the person that I'm putting my effort into, I need to know him. I need to learn him over time. Before they even learn me over time, why don't I set myself up for success by giving more free value, more talking content before they even book a call with me, or after they book a call with me, before they even pay me, so they can be like, okay, I vibe with this guy. And it's a share. It's not just an investment, a personal investment for them, but it's like, I want them to look at it as an energy investment. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's like, I want them to be like, okay, I'm not just paying him, I'm investing my energy into him, but also I want them to, when they're watching my thank you videos and my FAQ videos, I want them to be like, all right, damn, Nick took some time to make this. He's putting his energy investment into us as well before we even pay.
Can I blow your mind really quick?
Go for it.
Check this out. So if you'll actually put, whenever somebody goes to book a call, do you have like an application at the same time they book that call?
No, well, I used to, not anymore. Right now we're kind of restructuring where.
So check this out.
Yeah, let's go.
If somebody goes to book a call and then they fill out a form, if you're working through GHL or AR like what we do, and let's say that one of your questions was, I want to compete for the first time, I want to turn pro, or I'm lifestyle. You can have it to where it redirects to a different landing page with different videos based off of what they select. So for example, somebody says,
I actually do have that. I actually
say that again.
Let me stop you there because I kind of misunderstood the question. I do have that actually. So before they book a call, I have kind of like, it's either before or after, I can't remember. It like pre-qualifies them. You know what I'm saying? So by their answers to the questionnaire, it's going to be like, okay, they can afford me, or this is their goals. They are just a lifestyle client, etc. Depending on how that form goes, that directs them to booking the call with me. So where I'm like, yo, you're pre-qualified. Now let's chat. I'm interested. Or it goes to another resource where it's like, hey, we may not be the best fit, but here's something for you.
Yeah. So that's qualification. I'm saying you are now qualified. Now, what is your goal? And we say they select that they're trying to do their first show. So then when they go to the calendar and then they book their call, they select that they want to do their first show. The thank you page is a thank you video and Q&As about everything that's related to doing your first show. All your testimonials are people that did their first show. If they selected pro, but all right, so we're trying to go pro. I love to see it, man. Like, you're an ideal client for me, man. There's nothing better than stepping on stage and winning this pro card right here. And then all your testimonials of people that are your pro athletes that you work with, and all the Q&As are basically a higher level questions because we're a more advanced individual, so that it now speaks to them. Lifestyle, I don't want to mummer the word bodybuilding. So then that thank you video is speaking lifestyle. It's talking about habit change and losing that gut so that you can feel better as a husband and better at work and be a leader. And all your thank you videos, your Q&As, your testimonials are all just lifestyle clients. And it makes it to where they're like, man, this is exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah.
My first time competing, trying to go pro, lifestyle. And so basically what it is one question creates, let's just say, I'm using 3 as an example, 3 branches with 3 separate pages speaking to ideal client.
Exactly. Yep.
If I was working with men versus women, and I worked with both, which I'm not a huge fan of at the end of the day, like whenever we start to grow, but let's just say you can split it to where it's like men go here and you have men testimonials, men thank you videos, men everything, and you have women related. If I just worked with, let's say, women, then I would say, based on the goal, are you trying to build muscle or are you trying to lose weight? Because from there, what I don't want is somebody to build muscle, see transformations of people losing 40 pounds. Because it's like, but that's not what I'm looking to do. But all you're showing me is transformations. I'm actually trying to go the other direction. And so it makes it to where it speaks more ideal client.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now we're in the weeds, but baby, that's marketing. That's the stuff I love to dive into. It's more work.
That's cool.
But man, we're talking about conversion rates just increasing tremendously. And a lot of people think well, I just got to increase my closing rate on my sales calls. It's like, No, we have to prep them for the sales call and actually get them to show up to the sales call so that they're already ready to purchase, because handling objections, well, what if we could handle all the objections before they even get to the call?
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, a lot of people don't. I think there's, man, when it comes to people that are like, well, let's just kind of get into this part of the podcast. Now we just start off with the business right off the rip.
Let me do my accountability really quick. I filmed my YouTube video. And funny enough, I actually just went through with my videographer here in office. So you've heard of like the waterfall effect, right? You film piece of content, like what we do here. We film content, we make reels from it, we post it, multiple omnipresence. We have 5 rivers that are creating waterfalls.
Okay.
So it's like 3 podcasts, a master class every week, 2 YouTube videos. And so it's just like, we're just getting like so much content. I've been posting like crazy, and I'm actually just publicly talking about it, but creating those rivers and those waterfall effects and like creating content. So this was just part of that journey to where, hey, I've ripped for 45 minutes on this or that type of things, which then I make a long form YouTube video of. And then I'm going to have, let's say this or that, this or that, this or that, me answering those, get 5 of those in one reel, post it, and I have like 20 clips that I can use for content, whether it's based off faith, whether it's based off business, bodybuilding, theories, employees, whatever. So pretty neat. But yeah, we filmed that yesterday, and I'm going to be filming those every Wednesday before we film these.
Really nice.
Excited.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's I've been seeing that you've been posting 6 times a day on Instagram.
6 times a day. Finally broke 50K followers.
Yeah, bro, I saw that.
Yeah, I got the balloons in the office.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, it's been a journey. I've been posting for 15.
Holy shit.
So finally, obviously, to get some traction. But yeah, man, 6 times a day. And it's actually way easier than I thought it was. We just create a mountain out of a molehill sometimes. But it's like, dude, if you'll just pick up your phone and talk to it, it ain't that hard.
Yeah, dude, you don't need perfect lighting, perfect captions, any of this shit. Like, I tell my videographer, I'm like, dude, the best times of you and I getting content, the most stuff that hits, the most stuff that goes viral or attracts leads is the stuff where you're filming, I'm training, I just look at the camera, I start talking because it's genuine and it's nothing special. You know what I'm saying? There's times where the camera will be charging because he forgot to bring an extra battery, and I'll just be like, hey, I don't care if the camera's charging. Take my phone, just film this set, film me talking, make whatever out of it you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So people sometimes think everything needs to be perfect. I've heard this for years, man, and I'm sure you have too. But guys like, hey, dude, I want to get into content. I want to do what you're doing one day, and I see that your videos look absolutely awesome. What type of camera would you recommend? Dude, I tell them it's in your pocket. It's in your pocket, bro. And it's like, yeah, I've got cameramen that have fucking cameras that are thousands of dollars, like the guy that I hired for Detroit. He's done my content in the past. Brandon Mora, Brandon.
Yeah. Dude, amazing dude.
Yeah, amazing, bro, he's got tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But it's like, if you're starting out, you don't need any of that. You know what I'm saying? You got a freaking this thing in your pocket right here that is a genius.
Like, I think you unplugged your mic. You just went mute. Still nothing.
Oh, wait, there we go.
There you are.
Dude,
there you are.
It connected to my phone. That is so weird.
No worries.
Anyway,
we clipped that.
I was saying, like, yeah, you guys just gotta. They don't need they can use their iPhone, man. I tell guys, if your main goal is to make content, don't focus on thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment. Just focus on what you're delivering to your audience.
Check this out. I've made this post right here. It's just a B-roll. It's like 7 seconds, right? Just a random clip I took at the gym. It's got 140,000 views, 3,000 likes, 46 comments, 76 shares, 200 shares. And it says, 2,257 shares, 76 reposts. And all it says is, yes, I work out to be healthy, but also so my wife can point me out in the crowd and say, I'm with the big guy in the hat.
Yep.
All I did was just copy a reel that showcased to me, changed it because I was wearing a hat versus just like the big guy or it's actually, I think it said like the Jack dude. And I was like, I'll just change it a little bit. 2 days ago, 140,000 views.
It's that easy, bro.
If you post, like, if I only posted that and you post 7 times a week, and you do 1 a week, I'm posting that in 1 day. I'm going to find stuff that's going to hit way faster. It's just a volume game. And in 2026, like if you're the person that's like, man, I want to do something, it's like pull out your phone and start filming. because this is the year of authenticity.
Yeah, and people got to stop being afraid of like, oh, Instagram is going to ban me for posting too much. No, Instagram needs to compete. Instagram wants you to post a lot. Back in 2022, 2020, bro, if you posted 3 times a day, Instagram's like, bot.
Yeah.
If you responded to 50 comments a day, they're like, nope, you can't make a comment for the next week. I'm like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? Bro, the amount of times that I've been shadow banned for saying certain things or whatever is crazy. Now on Instagram, I don't really got to hold back because Instagram knows that with whatever I say is going to get attention.
They have to compete with TikTok, man. TikTok lets you post unlimited. And the more you post, the more you're rewarded. So they want to reward you for doing more. And so here's the crazy part, right? So I've been posting 6 times a day since like Christmas. So we're 2 weeks in here. And my worst video now is like my best video of the previous 9 months every day. So now I go from getting like 1,200 views on something to where my worst video does 1,200 and I'm averaging like 5,000.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Right.
But it's like, man, like now I want to post 14 times a day.
Yeah, I know. What do you think? Well, like, and of course, we're talking about growing is a volume game. Getting eyes on you is a volume game. Personally, for me, I don't post enough. Okay. And that's because I'm not a social media guy, bro. And I'm learning how to be a social media guy. Okay. There's a reason I have a TikTok. I don't even know how many followers or views I have on it. I've got TikToks that have millions of views. I can't even remember which ones they are because they're way down from 3 years ago.
You just got to start looking at it differently because it's like, I'm not a social media guy either. I'm just posting and I'm just getting rewarded for it.
Right.
I've got like 600 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, if I get 1,000 views on TikTok, it's like, wow, it's a good video.
Yeah.
But I also don't get on TikTok and make content. I get on Instagram and make content.
Yes.
TikTok wants to reward you for actually going in app and actually using it that way versus just using it as a back burner. I truly do think that TikTok, the more that you have the app open and the more hours you log on it, the more it rewards you.
For sure. You know how much I'm on TikTok when every time I tap the TikTok app, it's got to re-download.
Yeah, I got to log in.
Yeah. And
that sounds like me.
And that's like, so for our audience listening right now, there's a difference, but there's also not a difference. When you're trying to get views and you're trying to get eyes on you, it's a volume game. And I used to be the type of coach where I would be posting 5-6 times a day and I would be going after that volume, but I would also be posting stuff that was not ideal for my avatar. You know what I'm saying? I would be posting funny stuff. I would be posting stuff about drugs. I would be posting stuff about, gym fails, whatever the hell. Did I get views from that? Absolutely. But I didn't make more money from it. You know what I'm saying? So like people got to realize like, if your goal is to get views and to grow your social media, yeah, it's a volume game, but that doesn't mean you're going to make more money from it if you aren't clear with your offer or if you aren't clear with how you serve people. You know what I'm saying? So I had to find that out, the hard way. Dude, if we had, back in like 2020, if I had the resources now that I have, I'd be like at 1 million followers. And the thing is, I should probably have more followers than I am now, but I'm also like, I don't know, it's a goal of mine. My videographer asked me when we were filming the other day, Ken is like, what's your goal for us this year, like as social media? Because he does all my editing now. I said, you know what, Ken, I'd want to get 200,000 followers. And he's like, I didn't expect you to say that. I'm like,
that's my goal.
It's not about the actually having 100,000. It's about the impact that I can have at 100,000 versus 60,000. You know what I'm saying? It's the impact. It's the eyes. It's not the ego of saying I have 100,000 followers.
Yeah. It's the byproduct.
Yes, exactly. So
yeah. Oh, well, let's set it, dude. Let's go.
Right.
I'll race you there.
Let's do it. Oh shit. All right. Okay. We got to go.
Here's the problem with goals. We set one for 2026 and then we'll worry about it in December when it's almost over.
Dude, I hate that. I know.
Right. And so it starts with, okay, so how do I get to 100K? Well, I better start posting today.
Yep.
Because it's not just going to happen overnight.
Nope.
Theoretically, it could happen overnight.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. You're one video away from 100,000 followers. But it's like, how many videos do you have to post to find that one video? Because if you post one a day, you got 365 opportunities to find one video.
There's a lot of
look at myself, like I've got 42 a week. So your 365, I'm going to tackle in 8 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, holy shit. That's a great perspective shift there.
Yeah. So who's going to find it faster, me or you?
You are 100%.
There it is, right?
I sometimes see some of my athletes posting on Instagram, and they're also coaches. Some of them are. I look at them like, would I post that now? No. But I'm like, just because I wouldn't post it now doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if I was doing what they're doing now with them playing the volume game, yeah, they're trying to go viral. Yeah, they're trying to get views, etc. But they're new coaches. They're new to social media, etc. If I was doing that at their age, man, things would
Where would you be?
exactly. And so I see that. I'm like, you know what? That may not be my taste. That may not be what I vibe with, but good for them for having ambition. You know what I'm saying? And I like seeing that. But, when it comes to, the social media side of things and people trying to get new leads from social media, people trying to get views from social media, etc. A lot of people want leads and they think they need leads. Okay. We all need leads, etc. But do you think what do they need to make clear with their offer first before trying to attract leads?
So I think I want to take it a step back.
Okay.
I think a lot of people on social media take this approach of, I'm trying to get clients.
Yes.
How do I get a client today? And the only way for you to get a client today is for you to say, I'm looking for 5 people looking to do X, Y, and Z, which we've all seen. And you throw those in occasionally in your stories as a really hard CTA. But it's also really gross when you see everybody posting that every single day and they put the graphic up on their page saying, I'm looking for 5 people, and they pin it and they just leave it there and they post it 3 times a week. You're trying to get clients and everybody sees it and it never gets any views and it's never going to get shared because it's just like, man, like if you were good, wouldn't you just get clients?
Yeah.
So there's this is mentality. That's like, this is 2017. You could rip that all day. Things change. When you first started your business, you also did that and you got clients because those people that are willing and wanting and ready to work with you, because I've been following you, they take action and then it works and you go, I'm going to do more of it. But then that audience of people that are willing to buy your stuff right now, buy. And then everybody else is like, I'm not interested. I'm not ready to work with you, but I am willing to learn from you.
Yes.
And that's what a lead is somebody willing to learn, not willing to pay. So an application is not for leads. An application is for clients, which is why you get a lot of applications in the beginning and then it kind of just tails off. And that's why when something goes viral, you don't really get any more applications.
Yeah.
It's because they just found out who you are.
Yep.
And so I try to teach coaches this perspective. You have something go viral. They come back to your page. They're not going to fill an application because they don't know anything about you. They barely know what you sound like. And they don't know how to pronounce your last name, but you think I'm going to fill out an application, tell you all my insecurities and jump on a call with a stranger and be like, take my credit card for thousands of dollars. It doesn't work that way. It's a long sales process. But that person would come to your page, see that you help men turn pro, and then figure out, you see, your lead magnet is 7 things you need to do to go from amateur to pro, and then download that thing. And then the system and the funnel will then automatically reach out to them, right? That's what we set up. That's what you got set up. Starts conversation so that we can then have a 2-way conversation outside of just the DMs and move forward. And so when it comes to getting leads or getting clients, in my mind, it's like you can't get a client without a lead. So you should only actually focus on getting leads. Mm-hmm. And the best way to do that is when you wake up today, when you go, I got to get a client, it's a very scarce mentality versus if I want to get a client today, and I know that for every 2 sales calls, I close 1 person. And for every 10 conversations I have, I get 2 calls booked. So if I want to get a client today, I know that I need 10 conversations so I can get 2 calls booked so I can sell 1. So now I wake up and go, what can I give away that's so good that 10 people give me their telephone number today?
Yes.
Because that will then by byproduct get you 2 sales calls, 1 client. So that's the biggest difference is I'm begging for a client versus I need 10 conversations. So now I go, how do I have conversations? I can reach out to people. I can send messages to new followers. I can put up a poll to start conversation. I can say hello at the gym. I can meet somebody at the grocery store. I just got to have conversations. This is where you hear like cold DM outreach, things like that. You're just trying to start volume of conversations. So when it comes to getting leads, that becomes the main objective.
Do you think, okay, well, let's say the main objective has really been set in stone for somebody. All right. So like, let's just take your avatar right now, or tell people, what AR funnel, the type of person they attract, like for the audience listening, so I can kind of build upon that.
Yeah. So for us, we want to work with an online coach, preferably doing at least $5,000 a month, who may or may not have systems. When I say systems, automated text messages, calendars, emails, workflow, landing page, like link in bio, application, check-in forms, and like a system to keep them organized. So they're not just in the DMs like, who's the last time I reached out to somebody? Or let me manually reach out to that person that filled an application via email, and it takes 48 hours to go back and forth, and then they run dry. Or you're manually having to send out contracts to people when they sign up. You're manually having to do all these things. And so you're spending more time in the business versus on the business because we don't have the right systems. And that really breaks down the two types of coaches. The first coach is they're very successful. They're doing well. It's still a lot of manual process, or they've hired somebody to do some manual things. They're having to do it all themselves, working too many hours in the business instead of just focusing on coaching. Hey, let me hire an expert to help me do this because I don't have time to learn it. The other coach is, I don't know what to do, so let me hire somebody to help me do it the right way so that I can shave off 2 years of me stumbling and falling forward like I did for so long. And like, let me just do it right, the right way, because things actually don't go wrong. They start wrong. And so at scale, you'll usually start to see the things that are broken inside the business.
Yeah, very true. So let's say it's the first type of coach.
Yeah. Let's say you got 25 clients, you're doing well, you're doing $8,000 a month.
Yep. Let's say you're making $8,000 a month. You've got some type of systems and some type of, back end flow that you got going on. If you're that person listening right now, speaking to our audience now, Mike, what is something like, what's a checkbox that has been left unchecked for them, where they're like, you know what, this last checkbox, I can't check it off. I don't know why I can't check it off. It may be a revenue goal. It may be a number on the roster goal. For somebody that doesn't know why they aren't growing, what is something that you would tell them? Be like, yo, if you're stuck doing this is what you need to do to get to your goal and above and beyond. Is that, hey, you need an actual funnel? Or is that, hey, you need somebody to help you on the back end so you can just do what you do best as a coach? What would your take be for that?
It's hard to give that in one answer, but I'll give a few different types of scenarios in that there's a person can identify like what their bottleneck is. So either we're working a good amount of hours, and what we end up typically doing is we have this yo-yo, this up and down roller coaster, to where I have room for my roster, so I'm going to post more, do more sales calls, do more outreach, do all the things, manual. And then I get busy because I'm not coaching people, but I stop doing those things, which then got me those sales calls, got me those clients, because now I'm fulfilling. And so then you have some clients fall off, and then you go back into this lower income, and you're like, I've got time again. Let me go back to doing all the things, so you have this, it's called a feast or famine, to where it's like, we get to 10K and then we do 5K, and then we do 10K and then we do 5K, and we do 10K and we do 5K. And like, we can't grow because we're not consistently doing the things that get us to grow, because we're doing too much manual inside the business, because we either need a VA or need a setter or don't have a funnel or have no automations and have to just manually do too many things in the process. And that can be as simple as your onboarding process is very manual, and so it's a very slow to get them going, or having to manually outreach to every application, or we're not consistent on content because we get too busy. So it's just finding structure to keep growth happening. So that would be coach one. Another thing could simply be how we're promoting to get leads is worked, but no longer is working. And we just continue to beat this dead horse instead of adapting and changing. And then we usually find faults or start to say like, yeah, dude, I'm just getting shadow banned now. Or, Instagram's out to get me. And we start pointing the finger outwards instead of saying, what could I prove internally to make this better? And so what happens is we go, hey, I'm not getting as many people, so I'm going to start sacrificing my price so that I get more people in, because I just need to make a sale, which then now sells your time for a cheaper rate than you actually wanted, putting you back on this hamster wheel of feast or famine, and we actually don't make no more money.
Yep.
So sticking through the tough season and holding to our guns, not changing the prices just because we have a bad streak of 2 weeks with no closes. And it's like, we got to go through it to get to it. Every no is just one step closer to a yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so who's my ideal client? What do they want to see? How can I target them, et cetera, et cetera. And so a great example for me is that this week we had 30 sales calls. That is more than the previous 2 months combined. And it's because we changed things on the front end between posting more content, getting more clear, posting more transformations, setting up some different type of ads, the season of the new year. And it's like, we have to continue that and say, hey, while it's good, let's continue to push the gas and continue what's working versus going, hey, let me take a step back and work in the business and help this process. It's like, no, I need to ensure my team has got it. So I need to not go micromanage. I need to not review every single sales call. I need to not review every DM conversation that's being had. I need to put trust in the team, trust in the funnel, trust in the thing. Whether we close them or not is irrelevant. My job is to get calls booked on the calendar, and then we optimize from there. But we can't stop this to optimize this, because once we optimize it, there's nothing else coming into it.
Yeah.
So it's staying on that front line.
Okay, so let's say there's the coach that's making between 5 to 8K reoccurring per month. Okay. And they're fluctuating 8K, 5K, 8K, 5K. All right. They look back at their finances and they notice that. And then they say, damn, okay, let me just kind of see a trend here. The months that I'm making 5K, when I dip down, clients fall off, I lose people, etc. I start to notice that I'm putting in more time for making content, but I'm also putting in more time. I'm putting in more time for the business side of things. If that coach is fluctuating between 5K and 8K per month, how much time should they realistically be putting in to the back end side of their business, to the systems, to the funnels, etc.? If they're the best at coaching, should they be putting, once they have more time making the months they're only making 5K a month, should they be putting that time into the business? Or should they be like, you know what, I only made 5K this month, I need somebody else to do this shit so I can just stick to what I do best, coaching?
The truth is that if you're doing $8,000 a month at $300, that's only 27 clients. 27 clients is not crazy to manage, right? So if you did check-ins, you can knock that out in a day. You could do 27 check-ins in a day. My question is, what are you doing with 6 other days?
Yeah, a lot of people, they're not.
And here's the truth. Well, I go work out in the middle of the day, and I take my dog for a walk, and I have my breakfast, and I kind of just chill, and I answer some things, and it's like I'll make a post. And it's like, so you're just extremely lackadaisical, because truth is that either we don't know what to do, so we're not implementing, or we think if my one post today is just better, it'll work. If there's one thing that I've learned from Alex Hormozi, it's that whatever's working, just do more of. But if you're not looking to see what's working and you're not trying to double down on that thing, then you're actually not going to grow. You'll notice the biggest difference when a coach doing 5K and 25K is just volume of what's working.
Yeah.
It's, hey, if you're sending out 10 cold messages a day and you're doing $5,000, what happens when you send 50? And the question actually becomes is, when are you doing it? So the biggest hack, when we have a VIP person come in house and we do a full day, 6-hour intensive with them, the first thing I look at is, hey, walk me through your daily routine. When do you wake up? Great. 15 minutes later, what are you doing? 15 minutes later, what are you doing? And then I come to find out that it's like, we're not doing anything until 10 a.m., but you've been up for 3 hours. And then you do check-ins, and then you take some random sales calls, and then you go work out. And then from 4 on, you're kind of just chilling. It's like, so you're working less than 40 hours a week really less than 20 hours a week on the business, and you're making money, which is great. But if you want to make more, we got to find out what's working. So I would question people to say, if we believe that content is the most important thing to grow your business, why is it not on your calendar?
Yeah.
You don't miss a sales call. Why? It's on your calendar. You don't miss that event that you got to go to. Why? It's on your calendar. But if your content is scheduled from 8 to 10 every single morning, that's 2 hours of filming. Do you know how much work you can get done in 2 hours of filming content?
Yeah, a lot.
I took 5 minutes to make the reel that got 140,000 views. And I spend no more than an hour a day posting 6 times a day.
Yeah, exactly.
But it'd be intentional about, when are you filming it? When are you editing it? It shouldn't, the most important thing in your business to grow it, it's not the most important thing about your job, which is get results, just so we're clear. Outside of that, which doesn't take that much time of your day. If it's to grow the business, why is growing the business not on our calendars? It took me so long to actually realize that, but we create content and we're like, if you wake up, go, man, where am I going to post today? I got to post something. Let me just throw something up. It's like, there's no intent behind what you're doing.
The way I look at it is like when you open up your calendar app on your computer, your phone, whatever, the way I've began to look at it in the past few years is, okay, you kind of just like sparked this in me just now of how I've been looking at it subconsciously. All right, month of January. It doesn't say January at top. It says grow the business 1. February, Doesn't say February. It says grow the business 2. I'm looking at my months as grow the business 1, grow the business 2, grow the business 3. Now, that doesn't just mean for me, doesn't just mean make more money. It means serve my people and give such a good service that they're like, yo, I don't want to leave Nick. That's what I'm focused on, because growing the business, that comes from serving my people. And then a byproduct of it is money, of course. You know what I'm saying? So for the listeners, if you're, like Mike said, if you're not putting content in your calendar, then you don't want to grow. You know what I'm saying? If you need to.
It's not important enough to go on your calendar.
Exactly.
In your mind.
Exactly.
Even though you know it's the most important thing.
100%. Let me just grab this charger because I got to plug my computer in.
Yeah. So like another way that I like to try to break down what you just said, right? Like, let's just say month 1, month 2, like grow the business 1. Look at it from this perspective too. It's like, so what are we doing to actually make that happen? So it's like, I'm filming content here. I'm doing random check-ins with people just to see how they're doing here. I'm randomly calling 2 people a day between these blocks, whether they answer or not. I'm writing handwritten cards to new people that sign up right here. It's like, what are we actually doing to grow the business versus it just being a theory of growing the business? Because when we put pen to paper, and this is the best way I like to describe it, the clients you work with, when they just wake up that day and go, what am I going to eat today? How good are their results?
When they just wonder what they're going to eat, none at all.
And the real question becomes are they advanced enough to wing it? I've gotten now to where I'm kind of advanced enough to wing creating content.
Yeah.
I still have certain things set on my calendar because you can't wing a YouTube video. You can't wing a podcast. You can't wing long form anything. And so we start off with structure. Most people go, hey, let's actually try to follow a meal plan so that you can understand macros. And then it's easy to go from meal plan to macros. And then you go to intuitive eating. Mm-hmm. But you've been intuitive eating and it's gotten you 30 pounds overweight. So we have to start with structure. And then as you get better, you can continue. When I first started working out, I had to follow a program. Now I go, I'm hitting chest today. And I'll go in and then pick machines. But here's the hard part about that. Even then, whenever something starts to get hard, subconsciously I go, you know what? I'm going to do this machine and not the dumbbells because it's easier. So in your client's life, they have to have structure or they fall to subconsciously what's easier.
Exactly.
So you're going to do the same thing. If I don't have it on my calendar to do, I'm just going to do whatever is easier because I'm tired. I just got done doing legs. All these things come in because we're just still human. We still want to take the laziest, easiest route.
The path of least resistance is what humans have been taking for
That's it.
Thousands and thousands of years.
And so it's like, eat the frog, man. Do it first. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Like whatever your excuses are, you can eliminate those by putting there in the morning.
I'm very fortunate enough where I've been able to hire a full-time videographer. And in years past,
But you didn't start that way.
Exactly. In years past, I was not as fortunate to do that. But also, you need to spend a lot of time doing that content yourself. You need to spend a lot of time looking at what works, what doesn't. You need to spend a lot of time figuring out, okay, who am I attracting? But also, we're in a day and age where you can't just, every piece of content you make, you can't just make that content talking about your offer or talking about your service.
No.
You can't do that anymore. You can't.
No.
Bro, like you brought this up earlier, the 5 guys CTA, that call to action. You can't, we're not in a day and age where you can, every day or every week you're doing, hey, I'm looking for 5 guys that want to get jacked and do their first show. You can't do that no more. That's not the way the world is going when it comes to online coaching. So you have to go through the suck sometimes of what works and what doesn't.
You got to find your core pillars.
And I think people, they give up too easy, man. They give up too easy, bro. The amount of times that I've failed throughout coaching, throughout bodybuilding, et cetera, is absolutely insane. And I share those failures, and it's me giving advice because I want people to learn from the shit that I failed at. And they're like, you know what? I get that. Yep, Nick did fail at that. They may try to do what I failed at, and they may succeed. And that's good because they're better at it than I did. You know what I'm saying? But I think sometimes if people just didn't give up as easily when it came to growing their business, well, let me put it this way. I think people have a lot of limiting beliefs with their business because they don't see their content going where they want it to go. But at the same time, they don't have enough self-reflection to realize that they're not giving their 100% effort, or excuse me, their 99% effort of that content and put into marketing themselves, because they expect everything. They expect so much instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? Dude, the first video that I got 10,000 views on, I can't even remember when it was. It just happened. You know what I'm saying? First video where I hit 5 million views on, it just fucking happened. Okay. I didn't make any more money from that, I don't think. But guess what? I got eyes on me. And it took a lot of videos in between to fail at until I got there. Just like my first pro card. It took a lot of first call outs at national shows for my athletes before a pro card happened. You know, I was never the type of coach where my first competitor that would hop on a national stage would go pro. No, yeah. I think I've had, before my first pro card in 2023, probably 3 dozen people go to national shows and make a first call out. If that, maybe even less. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as a coach, now we're shifting from content. Dude, if you're a coach listening to this and you are putting people on stage and you're doing what Mike has been talking about with content and you're getting discouraged because you have not turned somebody pro yet, bro, it has to compound over time. You also have to have enough self-reflection to look back and be like, you know what? The way I did that person's peak, I could have done it better. I need to make sure I don't make that mistake again, because when you think like that, you will get that you're an inch closer to helping earn somebody's pro card. You have to be in that way of thinking when you're coaching. And I think that it's easier for me to think that way now because I'm also an athlete. But before I was a pro, I was turning people pro. You know what I'm saying? So I had to instill, I think it was instilled in my mind early on, because I was very grateful to be around some huge names in the industry from an early age. Samson, Ben Chow, Justin Shire, Nick Walker, all these guys have been around since I've been around since 2021. You know what I'm saying? And their mindset fed onto me, even though their mindset wasn't coaching related. It wasn't content related. I just was able to see them, see how they thought, see how they approached their goals, see how they executed their daily routine. And I was able to translate that over to my life. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody's doing something different than you, okay, doesn't mean that you can't learn something from what they're doing. You just have to be able to translate and transcribe what they're doing to fit your scenario.
So there's 2 things that I feel like you can learn. I learned your direct knowledge, and I learned how you operate. Those are 2 different things. I'll give you a great example. Went to Alex Mosey's event, learned from what they spoke about, and I've actually made a bigger ROI on how they did it.
Nice.
How did you run your event? I mean, as much as like, why is that lanyard purple and that one's gray? Oh, it's because you did this or you did that. And it's like, it's picking up on like how you operate, and I'm visually seeing how you operate versus just what you're talking about through the operation. And so what you just described was, I see how you're running a very monotonous, structured, rigid thing and go, that is what it takes to be successful here. How can I apply those same principles here?
Exactly.
If you'll run your business like you do your fitness, you'll get 1% better also every single day. But you never gave up on your fitness. The first time you squatted, it sucked. And if you're like me, it still sucks. But it's better than day one.
Yeah.
And so when we look at it from that perspective, it goes, okay, so now if I just show up every day with the goal of failing and being better, then I will improve day after day after day. But my question is going to be, how many rest days are you taking in your business?
Yeah. Let's kind of translate this over to where we've been talking a lot about like our time as business owners and coaches. Okay. So like when it comes to like protecting the coach's time, all right, sometimes people may just get lost in translation where to grow, you need to be spending less time on certain things and more time on other things. Okay. So I don't want to just get lost in translation, but like, let's talk about like qualification, like what question, okay. If there's a coach, everybody has a coaching application, or most people should, or have thought about one. Okay. When it comes to that application and what questions should be on that application, the coach needs to know to qualify that person. What questions should be on the application to filter tire kickers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they're not wasting their time with somebody that is not going to be ideal for their business and somebody that's going to be an ideal person to lead. What should they put on that application to filter through tire kickers and people that are going to work their ass off?
Yeah. So I think a few things from an application process, and I'm going to answer your question actually last. So the first thing we need is it needs to be like very simple, and I need to know exactly what I'm applying for. So a lot of people just have application with no copy or no video or no context what the application actually does. And so it's like, hey, if you're somebody that's looking to do this, this, and this, and you struggle with this, this, and this, and you're looking for a coach that handles this, fill out the application below. because now it's less confusion. I know exactly what I'm applying for. No one applies for a credit card but don't know the details on it. No one applies for an apartment, doesn't know the size or the price of it yet. I need to know everything about it before I apply. Now, don't put your pricing in your application. What I'm saying is that I need to know what I'm getting into before I sign the dotted line. That application, the second thing it needs to have is I'm a big fan of less written out answers for people that are starting out brand new or you're trying to get more volume. Now, if you want a higher qualified person, you need them to write more details. But if you need more volume in your business, don't worry about how qualified they are. I think you should take some of those sales calls as practice. If I had a closer and I wouldn't worry about my time, I would still have it a very quick application where it's just like select the box, select the box, select the box, select the box, go through, versus if I have to type out every single thing, that's just a 30 more seconds that my mama's going to call me and I'm going to answer the phone and forget the application.
Yep.
So we need speed to lead here. When it comes to actually qualifying on that question, my suggestion is to have one of those final questions basically be like, which best describes you? I'm tired of my own BS. I'm ready to take action, whatever it takes. I'm thinking about it. This is something I've wanted to do for a while. I'm just trying to find the right match. Or something at the end that's like, I'm not really sure if I want to coach. Also don't know that I'm willing to invest in it. It's something I'm thinking about. It's not very important to me.
Yep.
And like if they click that, it's like we redirect to a non-sales call because you're just not ready. And then you can have, or you see that if you're doing all this manually, you go, hey, I saw that you said you weren't very interested. Just wanted to ask you about that. Why aren't you actually interested in taking this? Is this goal is not very important to you? Versus like getting on the call and then we're like, yeah, man, I just saw you, dude. You're jacked. I just wanted to pick your brain. It's like, that's not what this is.
No, it's not what it is. When I see people like that, when they're answering that question of what option below describes you, and they say something like, I've thought about hiring a coach for a while, but I don't know if I need help at this moment. If I take that answer, see some of the answers that they've mentioned above, etc. Something that's super simple that I send them automatically is I send them a workout split, generic workout split. Hey, yo, you don't know if you need a coach. I don't know how long you've been training, but hey, take this, use it for how you will. And also attached to that is before they receive that, they're putting in their email, their contact information, etc. They get added to my email list. Okay. So they can get more free info from me. Then another freebie that I give away is like a macro tracking guide. Hey, here, track your macros. That's how you do it. Super simple. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you need me right now. You don't know if you ever want to compete, but you're interested in something in this realm. So here's something that can help you with that. Free value. Okay.
I love it.
Now, when it comes to, we've been talking a lot about calendars and keeping your calendar full. What should the coach automate before the sales call so that the sales call stays higher quality?
So that it stays higher quality. Give me an example. Because automating to get people to show up to the call, and then quality are two different things.
Okay. So the sales call stays higher quality. Let me just say, so the sales call stays about that person wanting to know about how you can help them and not that person wanting to know how you're going to do their drug protocol for prep. You know what I'm saying? So it stays higher quality where the way when you're getting on that call, it's not just to pick your brain and it's about, hey, I've failed here, here, and here. I need you to fix these things because I don't know what the hell to do. Because a lot of times I've been on sales calls where people, they may be a great fit for me, but they just want answers. You know what I'm saying? And that answer comes along with hiring you, but they want answers on that call. So how do coaches avoid having their calendar get filled up with poor leads or poor call quality, et cetera? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So if you have a closer, that typically negates it because you're not getting direct access to the source. And we let them know, hey, booked your call. We'll let you, like I always say too, like, hey, whenever I'm booking a call with somebody, because I don't take sales calls anymore, unless it's very few and far between. But let's just say, I'll say, yeah, let me see what the team has available for a time. Let me see what the team's got open. And so I'll let you know it ain't with me, big dog. And then we continue the process and we book it with my guy. So that's one advocate one avenue if you have the ability to have a closer at the volume for one. And then when you book that, it's like, hey, this is XYZ. Just want to let you know we're going to be taking that call Tuesday at 4 p.m., whatever. The application process, you actually just get more narrow in those very direct questions. But like, submit this box. But like, just so we're clear, this not call, you could do something like this, right? It's a very direct call to action. where it's like, select this. No, this is a call to talk about my coaching program. I will not be going over protocols that you should be doing or that you think that you're going to do in the future. This is to work with me, not to pick my brain and ask questions. Please respect my time as I'm going to respect yours.
I think that's great.
So that's just, you can put that in like a statement. Because for example, when you go to book a call with us, at one point we had it to where it's like, if you're not an online coach and you're an in-person coach, please exit now.
That's perfect. That right there is like, yo, this is what I tolerate. This is what I don't tolerate.
If you're not serious about hiring me to be a coach, you're just looking to ask me questions and pick my brain, please exit now. I don't have time to help people. I can't waste my time helping people that are not paying clients.
Yes, 100%.
Out of respect to my clients.
I've had a lot of that before. Personally, for myself, this is a goal of mine going for this year is having a setter. When should somebody get a setter?
That's a great question, man. So I view that VAs and setters have 3 types of currencies, and it's personal choices. So the first type of currency that a VA, because a VA and a setter are 2 different things in my mind. Virtual assistant versus somebody that sets appointments. So a VA, virtual assistant, the first currency is exposure. You're reaching out to 100 people a day on your behalf, commenting on people's stories, commenting on people's posts, commenting, liking this, that, whatever. We're creating exposure for our brand and for ourselves. That's one currency is exposure. You can do that through VAs. You can do that through ads. VA is just more of a personal touch point. Pro tip, don't cold DM somebody. Comment on their story. Make it relevant. The second type of currency, obviously, is going to be monetary, money. This is where the setter is going to then answer messages, get them booked on your call. I personally like to do VA does the outreach. Setter does when they respond back. Now we have conversation. So I run a 2-fold system. Because what I also don't want from the setter perspective, and just for you in the future, if your setter's busy answering messages, they also then can't do outbound at the same time. So the faucet is on or the faucet is off. But I never want the faucet to turn off because I don't want this.
Yep, exactly.
Right. So somebody stays pushing and then people answer.
What you're saying is you don't want the setter to be doing the job that the VA should be doing. And you don't want
I don't want to create another version of me who can't do multiple things at the same time.
Exactly.
You need to do one job. Yep. And so that if you're doing 2 jobs, you have to choose A or B because you can't do A and B at the same time.
Yeah.
So if one person stays on A never changes. And one person stays on B never changes.
Yeah.
And all you're doing, if you hire an assistant and they are a setter and they're doing both things, you just created another version of you. And it's just a matter of time before they're now in the same bottleneck of do I do this or I do this? Do I do this or do I do this? The third one currency is going to be time. This is the person that's going to do your posting for you or write captions for you or edit your videos. Like that assistant answers your emails, just somebody that is helping you save time versus actually trying to just make you money. Because buying back your time allows you to make more money and focus on things that move the needle, like making content. So those are the 3 types of currencies. A setter is required, I think, more for somebody that doesn't have the time or bandwidth to answer their DMs to get sales calls booked. And what that looks like is based on the individual. Some people hire a setter before they need one because they hate it. That's fair. I get it. Some people hire trainers not because they need one, because they want one. I don't want to think about it. You just tell me what to do. The setter is just going to do all the conversation for you because I don't want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people hire setters too late, to where it's like you have so many unread DMs because you're coaching and taking sales calls and making content that all your money is in your DMs and you're just sitting on a gold mine. Where it's like, I asked somebody the other day and I was like, how many unread messages you got? They got like 600. And I was like, and we're complaining about money? Like, it's right here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're worried about the person closing. Why don't you just book 7 more calls today? So that's when I would start to hire a setter would be there.
Yeah,
and what I would probably start with is a setter that's like, let's say 20 hours a week. And you're going to put them in the time frame when you're absolutely not in your phone, right? So let's say that you take sales calls and you do check-ins from 12 to 4, put them in 12 to 4 and you can pick up from 4 on.
Yeah, there you go. That's easy. That's a great way to put it. I think so people listening to the podcast and watching us right now, some of them may be coaches, some of them may not be coaches. Some of them may be like, you know what, I've been thinking about hiring Nick, for my contest prep, etc. But he's like, what the hell is this setter thing? Like they're like, that's disingenuous. What would you say to those people where it's like, yo, I don't want to be talking to somebody in the DMs that's not the coach I want to hire. What would you say to that person?
Yeah. the question actually becomes is, would you rather have the coach coaching or the coach running the business?
Exactly.
Because if I can't spend more time with you, if I'm trying to get more money and more leads in the business to pay the bills so that I can actually coach you.
100%.
So a setter actually is just buying back time so that you can do the thing only you can do, which is coach.
Absolutely. And I think people,
And matter of fact, I would rather have somebody that hires out people to do all the other things so that you can solely focus on working with me.
100%. When I need to know about you is when you and I are on that call. It's not about answering your questions in the DMs. It's like to work together. What I need to do is accumulate the knowledge and the information that you're giving me on that call so that I can be the best coach possible to you. That only happens if you get on a call with me. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm trying to give the best service possible to my people, I can't be spending time trying to book calls with people because then I'm taking away time from check-ins, from getting on posing sessions, etc. So I think that's a great answer, man, because I think people look down upon other coaches using appointment setters. And I think that is a narrative that should start to shift.
Yeah. I mean, when you call the doctor, do you talk to the doctor?
No.
When do you actually talk to the doctor?
Exactly.
When you show up for your appointment.
It's the same thing.
And we're nothing more than providing a service to an individual. And so when you call the office, it's like, hey, I'm the representative of the office. The setter is nothing more than the front desk clerk.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, dude.
And the truth is like inside the DMs, we're not actually answering questions. So when the question is like, well, I got to find somebody that knows everything about fitness. And it's like, why are you coaching in the DMs? Because what I actually need to know about your business and what you're doing is what's your goal? How long have you been trying to achieve that goal? What's the pain point problem that you feel like you haven't got there? Have you ever hired somebody to help you do that? Are you interested in me helping you do that? Great, let's book a call. Nowhere in there did I talk about this or training or splits or macros because all that stuff is customized anyway. There's nothing I can do inside the DMs that's going to help you until you give me the full details. And if somebody's just barely coaching you through the DMs anyway, it's like, if you're looking for answers, like you're not going to buy anyway.
Exactly. 100%, man. I've had numerous instances where somebody's like, hey man, I'm thinking about hiring you. I really want you to be my coach, but I want to ask you a few questions first. And guess what? Admittedly, I'll be like, yo, what's up? What are these questions? Okay. They'll ask the question. And sometimes it'll be, you know what? What's your approach to training? How do you coach your athletes when it comes to the training side of things? What's your philosophy? What do you think of doing higher DHTs and lower testosterone? Because I've always done higher testosterone and lower DHTs. It doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Because guess what? When I start coaching you, I'm taking the information that we had on the call and I'm figuring, okay, this worked, this did not work. This is how they operate. This is how they need to operate. These are the poor habits that need to be replaced with better habits, etc. I'm taking that knowledge plus the knowledge that I've gained from all my mentors, all my experience throughout coaching, my failures, my successes, etc. And guess what? You may be training higher volume because I figure out that your body really likes higher volume training. And guess what? You honestly may have been doing your drug protocol wrong, and I may be just change it up just a little bit so that it actually works better according to your blood work and not just what you're seeing in the mirror. Okay. That's what matters. It does not matter what I say back to that message about drugs. It doesn't matter if I say, you know what, I've done higher DHTs with people versus testosterone. You know, it works because guess what? It may work for you. It may not work for you. We need to look at so many other things first before I even answer that question. I can see where that person is coming from that wants to ask the question of, hey, what's your approach on drugs? What's your approach on training? What's your approach on, contest prep duration? I understand why they want to ask that question, but those questions only matter if you give me the context of the overarching picture here, the macro view. You know what I'm saying? So that's over time. That's how I've had to transition my DM conversations is, hey man, that's a great question. I don't want to take that and be like, hey, let's get on a call and talk about it. No, I'm going to take that and I'm going to maybe ask them a follow-up question that is maybe associated with their question, maybe not associated with their question. But for the people listening, there's lots of questions that you're going to have when it comes to hiring a coach, whether that is somebody like myself, whether that's somebody like Taylor, somebody like Mike, where he's going to literally have his team rebuild your business from the back end. We have tons of questions, and these questions are warranted.
Tons of questions.
It's a huge energy and financial investment that we're putting into these people. But guess what? The only thing that matters is at the end of the day, are you going to be able to work under them? Are you going to be able to apply to your life what they're telling you to do? Okay. Because if you're not, then we're not going to get on the fucking call. You know what I'm saying? If you're somebody that just is going to seek information for how Mike's clients make 10K a month and you're going to try to implement that yourself, you're not going to be able to do it because Mike has mastered what he has been able to do. You You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what questions you ask Mike. What matters is if you get on a call with his team and you sign up and you implement what they are teaching you. Same thing for me. It's the same exact thing. We're translating what I just said about Mike to coaching. It doesn't matter if you work a 9 to 5 and you spend, after your work shift, you have 2 hours with the family and then 2 hours training. It matters is within that period of time throughout the day that I'm telling you how I'm coaching you, etc. It matters how you apply that information. And if you apply that information, that's it.
Information's free. You can get it all over the internet.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
People don't pay for information anymore. What they pay is for application. And so we have a lot of people ask a bunch of questions about, look, I can send you over a 9,999 word text message. I'm just not going to do it. But either you can watch these videos or you can jump on a call.
100%. It's that simple, bro. It's that simple.
What do you guys do? And I might rip just a very brief overview. Because the thing is this all goes back to content, which is, do you like what they talk about? Do you trust them through the content? Does it all make sense from a 30,000 foot view? Because when I say, hey man, I'm going to build your system and it's going to be custom for you, I'm not showing you exactly what we're going to do. There is trust that I'm going to do it the right way for you. And you believe that I'm going to do that for you. And then you trust the process, because the sell is actually made through them trusting what it is you do. Well, how do they trust you? They watch the videos. They watch the FAQs. They do the research and watch the YouTube videos. They listen to the podcast and be like, yo, that dude sounds real, right? It's those type of things that you're picking up on and going, hey, I'm not exactly sure the protocol that Nick's going to give me, but I trust that it's going to be what's best for me. And I have a feeling that he's going to listen to my likes and dislikes and then build that to fit me, because I just got a feeling that that's how we're going to operate together.
Exactly. And just because
if you need the T's crossed and the I's dotted before we work together, I'm not letting you pay me, because you're going to be a nightmare of a client.
Yeah.
Because this isn't you telling me how to build your business. This is you hiring me to help build it for you. We have fired people within the first month and gave a full refund, even though we spent hours and hours of time building a system, because of how you talk to one of my employees, but how you got so many followers or this, or you have this entitlement here. And it's like, hey, bro, you're cancer to our culture. You can leave. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. In fact, we want somebody that wants to be here and trust what we do.
100%.
I don't want you to be just this pessimist, on my ass 24/7 about, hey, this thing needs to be changed, or this word is wrong. And it's just hey, this is a process.
Yeah, exactly. It's, as a coach and somebody that's also has the big goal of growing business, making freaking monsters and great athletes. A lot of times, man, I've responded to people, whether they've signed or actually after they sign up with me, they start asking the questions. They want an information overload. And I know that I can give them information overload, but whatever information I give them, they're not going to do anything with. And a lot of times I've just asked them the question back once they've wanted this information overload. They're starting to have paralysis by analysis. I just say, hey, who's the coach here? I ask them that question. I literally do. And they say, well, you're the coach here, but I just wanted your take on this. I said, it's okay if you want my take on this. I've explained this to you multiple times, but because you're asking it again, tells me that you're not applying it, that you're not understanding. So you hired me for a reason. You're like, yeah, then you need to have that reason be at the forefront of your mind every single day. You know what I'm saying? And especially too, man, I think you just said this about, cutting the cancer, a part of your team, man, cutting out that cancer to your culture. There's a time where coaches need to do that with their roster. I had multiple instances in 2025 that I talked about on episode 1. And just because, dude, for people listening, if you're a coach, the peace that will be in your heart when you are cutting that cancer out of your culture is something that you can't even describe. Because when you open up a check-in, you don't want to look at that check-in and be like, oh, fuck, this person's always overthinking. This is the person that always pushes back at me about this, and that. They follow all these people online that only discuss drugs and steroids and all this stuff, and they're always going to ask their questions about that. You want to open up their check-in and be like, you know what? I'm excited to see this person this week. I'm excited to see this person take what I told them last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and then implement it. That's the culture that you want on your team. You don't always get that. Doesn't mean if somebody starts to ask more questions and, question your thought process, doesn't mean you cut them out. No, it's not that at all. But if they are starting to become a burden to your business, but a burden to you throughout the day, and you're constantly messaging them like a crazy ex-girlfriend, You have to have that conversation with them once, have it with them again. If it keeps happening, you got to make the tough decision if they're actually meant to be on your team or not. I don't want to be serving people that are stressing me out to the point where I save their check-in for last. You know what I'm saying? I've had those people. I see that, dude. I've had people where they check in first thing in the morning, 5 a.m., and I save them to their check-in until 3 p.m. because I'm like, fuck, I don't want to start my day with this person. But guess what? That's on me.
So. I think setting the tone in the beginning is really important. That's like one of the biggest things I've learned. I was like, hey, I just want to be really clear. Because like, so you're going to like write all our emails. I want to be really clear. I'm going to give you 52 pre-written emails, but we're not going to go in and rewrite these emails for you. We are not admins in your business. We're paying you to help set it up, and you go in and make the adjustments, or your team goes and make the adjustments, just so we understand, so that the expectation is, why don't you write these emails? And it's like, well, because you sure as hell ain't paying me enough money, first of all. And two, I don't know anything about your business. I don't know how you operate. I don't know how you calculate macros. I don't know your methodologies, so it's just like being really clear on those. And also too, being really clear, or, hey, yeah, you can text me anytime, just be respectful with my hours. Really, like between 9 to 5 is ideal. If it's past that, I may or may not be able to get back to you, but I will get back to you in the next morning.
Yes.
You answer a text message at 10 p.m., expect more text messages at 10 p.m.
100%, brother. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many times that's happened.
But we're trying to serve and be great.
Exactly.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, we also got to be really clear. Like, I'll text Taylor at 10 p.m., right? I'm a client of his. I also don't expect to text back. But at the same time, like, if you have the right as the coach to answer when you want to answer. And so whenever that happens, you also need to realize that when you are texting that person, it's like, is that person somebody that if they continue to text you at 10 p.m., would you be okay with it?
Exactly.
If it's not, don't answer the text message at 10.
Exactly. And they will understand. They will be like, well, hopefully they will understand.
Well, they understand if you set the tone in the beginning saying, it's not 24/7 access. Yeah. I'm not your maid.
And I've made that mistake so many times, man. Somebody signs up with me and they've got so much potential. And maybe the thing is, maybe I've been friends with them first before they were ever a client. Yeah. And maybe we would DM on Instagram into the late hours, or we would just like see each other in passing at the gym. We'd always talk outside of the gym. Maybe they were like a hunting buddy of mine, etc. But there needs to be a line drawn in the sand of hours and professionalism and coach-client relationship and friend relationship. My best friend that I'm coaching to his pro card this year, my man. Fingers crossed he gets pro card.
That's awesome.
Dude, I'm so freaking excited for the dude. You can go back to our text message threads on WhatsApp. Every time I make an update, he says Roger, or he says 10-4, or he asks a question related to that check-in. I could do 1, 2, 3 scrolls up in our WhatsApp, and we'll be back in March of 2022. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows the plan. He doesn't hyperfixate on things that he can't control or that do not matter. He knows that when we're together at the gym, what we talk about at the gym is either personal when the time is right, or it's coaching related when the time is right. And that's also a learned skill. But that's also for him and I, we started our relationship off coach-client relationship back in 2021. So we started off, this was the groundwork that I set first with him and I. And now if he is going to text me at 11 at night, he knows that I can get back to him 9 a.m. the next day. You know what I'm saying? And that's the coach's responsibility. That's your responsibility to set that culture and set the tone early on.
Yeah. And we've had some people come in for him like, hey, I need this done by 9 a.m. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you give orders around here.
No.
I think I'm the one with the corner office.
Exactly.
It's just, but that's just part of it, right? It's like for a long time, people are in this authority position, or there are insecurities attached to it, and you're going to have people that just test where they're at on this food chain. And some people will want to quit because they're not at the top of the food chain. Like, hey, that's okay too. You're just not you just don't have a seat at this table.
Yes.
There's plenty of tables.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to say you can't eat. You just can't eat with me.
Exactly. And that's nothing against you. That's nothing against me. When I see,
it's just a business and personal decision.
Exactly. Man, the amount of people that were past clients of mine that just did not fit how I coached and just did not fit my personality, my coach methodology, coaching methodologies, etc. I've seen them in passing at the gym. I've seen them at shows. I've seen them win shows. I've seen them get beat by my athletes, etc. There's always respect and there's always a good level of communication between us. And there is a type of friendship. And that's because in my position, I didn't burn that bridge. I'll burn a bridge if I need to burn a bridge, 100%. If it's not serving me, I will do it. But that's because they just didn't fit how I wanted to do things. And they did something else. That's okay. I want to see them win. If it's not with me, that's totally cool. You know what I'm saying?
Super random question for you here. Are you somebody that likes to be, well, let me work back this way. Do you love to win or hate to lose?
Fuck. I hate to lose, bro.
That's funny. So I love to win.
Really?
So when because losing's fine. Like it's a lesson, right? I've lost for 15 years in business. I'm used to losing. So whenever you hate to lose, do you find that gives you drive to go better and everything is just a lull and disappointment because you hate to lose? How do we find gratitude and still making it to the stage or doing the thing and enjoying the journey if we're so disappointed about losing?
So I hate losing, but my answer is going to change because I actually love losing by the way you asked that question. Because my answer is when I lose as a coach or when I lose as an athlete myself, I look at that, I sit in it, I feel the emotion, but I only do it for a certain period of time because I want to.
5-minute rule.
I crave looking back at what went wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's where I love to lose is because I'm like, my brain operates in the way of like, Nick, feel it, take your time, say what you need to say, don't be emotional, be logical, etc. But now it's time to go do some fucking digging. Now it's
do you take time instead of looking also just like what went wrong, but like, hey, what went right?
Absolutely. If I can't look at what went right, then I can't properly digest what went wrong.
That's a good way to put that.
You know what I'm saying?
There's this, I found this like meter, right? And it's like, well, if I hate to lose, then if I win, then it just made sure that I wasn't hatred. I never get to celebrate. But if I love to win and I didn't win, I'm neutral.
Yeah.
I don't go here.
Yeah. So
it's like, if I hate to lose, it's like, it's just so I don't feel this way is why I'm doing it. Versus if I win, it's great. And if not, hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I view it. And you're like, we go through those phases, but like how many more, I view it as like, if every day is a game, how many days did we win versus lose? Because in entrepreneurship, it's like 33% of your days you lose. And so it's like, am I in a positive state more often than not? Am I in gratitude more often than not? And I think that boils down to like, how do things affect us and how much time and energy do we give it? Right? Because like, hey, if we don't go 0 for 10 on sales calls, it's just like, okay, versus like throwing stuff and like, man, I cannot believe we lost today, took such a big L, that type of thing. My follow-up question to that is this. Do you, from you being coached, let's say look back from whether it's athletics or parenting or whatever, are you the person that's in the gym that pushes more weight when they're encouraged or when they're yelled at? Great example would be, let's go, Nick, man, you got this, keep going. Or, don't be a B, push harder. You're being weak. Let's go, grind.
That's such a good one because there's times where I really respond well to both. And it's all came down to, it depends on how I've been coached.
Yeah, it's like, it's a childhood thing.
Exactly. My dad was very hard on me, but in the best ways possible. If I screwed up, my dad would be like, all right, fix it. I'll be here to watch. I'll be here to figure it out with you, but I'm not going to do the work for you. You know what I'm saying? So he would coach you in the way of, you do the fucking work, you reap the reward, and the result is your responsibility. Okay. From a bodybuilding perspective, I'd say I respond better to Nick, let's go. Nick, let's do this. Nick, you're leading from the front. Nick, you have people that are depending on you. That's how I respond best to it. And I think that's also because the position that I'm in here in the Midwest, just with my name being known, I mean, I'm pretty much the only pro at the gym that I go to, and there's like 1,000 members there,
Tip of the spear.
That's how if I'm training with my buddies or if my internal dialogue when I'm doing a set is if my buddies are encouraging me, I want to push harder because I want to lead from the front. If they're not encouraging me and they're not spotting me, if they're not training with me, in my mind, what I tell myself is like, Nick, if you don't live up to the standard, if you don't push a set to the standard that you're telling people to do, are you really a leader? That's what I tell myself. You know what I'm saying? So I respond best to encouragement. And I think I respond best to encouragement because I'm not afraid of failing. I want to fail because I always learn from failing. You know what I'm saying? Even though I hate losing, but I do love losing because what comes from it. It honestly, like, I crave different types of feedback, you know? The feedback that I crave is not because, or maybe that's the wrong way to put it. I respond differently to different types of feedback. That's a better way to put it. And the trend over time is I respond better to encouragement because I know the position that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I know the position I'm in as a coach. I know the position I'm in as an athlete, as a sponsored athlete with Hostile, as a small voice, a small name in the industry, etc. But there's also times where the feedback that I give when I'm trained with people is, hey, take the fucking tampon out. It's time to fucking go. You know what I'm saying? But like I can kind of become the opposite. But yeah, man, I respond really well to positivity.
Yeah. So I grew up in a similar childhood. I would say it's slightly different though. So I mean, I have so many like memories, and this is kind of, I look back now and go, that's the fact that I remember that's bad. But like hit a home run, miss a ground ball, and I'm getting yelled at for missing the ground ball on the way home, crying in the backseat. And it's just like, I'm 9. So if you yell at me, it affects me. Great example. Dude, like a year ago, I'm in the cold plunge, and it's like first time I've been in like 90 days. I have one at home. My wife is like, why are you being such a baby? And I just snapped. I was like, would you shut up? Because it's like her like doing that, like, hey, like, don't be a wuss.
You've done this before.
Like, handle this. Like, what do you like? And I was like, not what I needed. Versus like, hey, bro, you got this. You can do this. I wouldn't have snapped. I'd be like, yeah, you're right. I can do this. And so when I go based off of like pure positive feedback, anything negative, and it's on me, right? That's all me. It's nothing she did. That's on me. Because every reaction we have is an internal thing. It's like, I failed that test. And that led to a massive argument. But that encouragement piece for me is like what's needed to go forward. And like, dude, I'll give you everything I got.
Yeah.
If you believe in me.
Yeah.
But if you doubt me saying, hey, don't be this or don't be that, what I'm doing is no longer my energy. Now it's on you. Like, who do you think you are? What do you like? The Andy Frisella style coaching? Not for me, bro.
Really?
Not for me.
Yeah.
No, I'm an Ed Milet guy.
I've the Andy Frisella style of coaching, how I receive it, not for me. How I give it, I've learned to give that style of coaching very well for where I need to apply it. You know what I'm saying?
You got a good coach knows when to push and when to encourage.
Exactly.
Because if you're always hard nosed, you're just that a-hole guy.
Yep.
Right. And so it's knowing when to apply pressure and when to call out that person or when to do this. But if I'm going to call someone out in that nature, it won't be with a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just be with a tone.
Yeah, I see what you mean. The tone, yeah, and sometimes that's even worse. When you notice that tone change and it's not the pitch didn't go up, you're like, oh fuck, Mike, you stabbed my heart.
Yeah.
And somebody that's been very influential, and we can kind of start wrap things up here because we're going an hour and a half, but somebody that has been extremely influential, 2 people actually, for feedback for me is actually Samson and Fuad. Every time I
personally don't know them, but
oh man, so I'll say this: Samson is one of the most genuine, caring people I've ever met, next to my mother. Swear to God. Like Samson's a brother to me, man. Even though he's not with Hostile anymore, I literally texted. I knew about it before they announced it to Insta, social media, whatever. I texted him like, "Hey, dude, I'll see you at the Olympia. This doesn't change shit." You know what I'm saying? Him and I spend the entire Olympia week together, or if he's going to do the Arnold, since 2021, we've spent the entire week together. We've traveled out of country together. The way he gives me feedback is some of the most encouraging feedback I've ever had in my entire life, because he is one of the best bodybuilders in the entire world. He was the best bodybuilder in 2024. He encourages me when I'm training and it's getting really fucking hard. He's said things like, you know what, Nick? Yes, look at where you started. Look where you're at now. You're training with one of the best in the world. You're here for a fucking reason. And that just fucking hits me. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, it just makes you want to just add another plate.
100%. That dude.
And he's like, no. We don't need to do that.
Yeah, right. With Fuad, same thing, man. Fuad's similar to me, and I think I probably learned this from Fuad and other people that I've came in contact with, but Fuad is so good at giving feedback in the right scenario, right application, what the vibe of the room is, etc., who the vibe of that individual. Man, I've been training with Fuad, and there's been times where he's like, I'll be 230 pounds, and he's like, call me like I'm 150 pounds. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're in the room with all these monsters, you 150-pound pussy. You know, and then there's times where it's like, Nick, you're keeping up with Samson. Let's fucking do it. Let's show me. Get one more rep. Like, you're doing so good right now. That's the leader that I crave. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Fouad is so close with me, or I'm so close with him, excuse me. And that's why, I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be flying out to Canada, and I'm going to be spending time with him. And that's
going to be dope.
I've learned a ton from him and how he just coaches as a leader. You know what I'm saying? So I try to do the same way in my own style for different scenarios of my athletes, etc. But anyway, man, everybody, if you stuck with us for this far, we've been going on for an hour and 31 minutes. We talked a lot in this episode about business, about coaching, about mindset, etc. Drop it in the comments what you guys enjoyed about this episode, what you guys want to see us talk about next. If you want to do a listeners Q&A, we can do a listeners Q&A. We'll throw something up on our Instagrams. But other than that, my last words are, everybody, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It means a lot. The entire premise of this podcast is giving back free value to you guys. And we want to have people come to our platforms when they want to learn and when they want to level up. So
absolutely. Value first.
Yep. Hopefully we're still doing that in the third episode. That's my last words for you. Mike, what do you got?
You mean, dude, accountability check. What we got next week?
What we got next week. Okay, got it. I have 12 videos to film. I've got to film my welcoming videos, and then I've got to film, those are 6 videos, and I've got to film 6. No, actually, I have to film 24 videos. And then I've got to film my ads. So I'm going to film my ads because we have a timeline of 2 weeks where we get all this done in the next week. By the time we meet, I'm going to have half my ads done. I'm going to have all of my welcome videos done.
Right on. For myself, I'm going to do a weekly YouTube recap that should be like a 5 to 10 minute video every single week that I'd film on Thursdays, rip on Fridays. That kind of is like, hey, this is what I posted. This is what worked. This is some clients we brought on. This was some success, some wins, some losses, all that thing. And so I'm going to try to do that and try to keep that, because that's just another thing, but it's new. So I'm adding not only one YouTube video a week, but now I'm accountability if I'm going to add in another video.
Nice. I like it.
We're going to give it a go.
Hell yeah, man. And with that, this was episode 3 of Business Brains and Brawns. Hope everybody has a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week.
Peace.
We can make it happen.
That'd be awesome.